Keep it high, keep it tight. I'm Jay Mercer, Review Guy, back to bring you another 5-minute review. I hope that wherever you are in the world, you are keeping either warm or cool, because where I live right now, it is extremely hot. But it doesn't stop doing reviews, and let's get right into it. So today we are, of course, talking about this album right here, Augment by the band Erra. So I released a video not too long ago that was entitled My Top 30 Rock and Metal Bands, and on this list, the number one slot went to the band that we're talking about today, Erra. So naturally you would believe that this is a band that does no wrong, that I don't think can do anything bad in an album or make it in such a way that it can't sound good. Well, every band has flaws, every band has their strong suits, and Erra, despite the fact that they are my favorite band, I am going to still most likely review their entire discography. On the channel, I have done 2 reviews of the album Drift, and I have done a review on Moments of Clarity, which was the EP that was released prior to Drift. So I did the review of Drift first, and then I did the review of Moments of Clarity, so I went ahead and decided if that's the case, then I'm going to go ahead and work my way backwards in the discography, going from Augment to Impulse to Andromeda to Erra. So let's go ahead and get right into this review. So this album is a very, very atmospheric type of album. And if you know anything about this channel, you know that I personally very much enjoy atmosphere. This is a progressive metalcore or just a progressive metal type of album. And it is a fairly long album. It's not a short runtime. It doesn't, but at the same time, it doesn't overstay its welcome. I don't think that it in any way stays too long. I feel like each song on the album has merit, and the majority of the people that I have spoken to that listen to this band or other reviewers that I have seen pretty much act as if this is their magnum opus, that this is their strongest album. It was the last album with Garrison Lee, which he was the vocalist until Ian Eubanks, I believe is his name, came on in Moments of Clarity, and then JTKV came on in Drift. So this was the final album with Garrison Lee, and he really gives it his all. His vocalism on this album is very, very admirable, and I think that he does a great job of handling the vocals on this album to the point to where it's almost flawless in terms of a metalcore album. Now, is it anything you haven't heard before? Not necessarily, but the way that it combines with the instrumentation that Jesse Cash, and I believe his name is Alex Balu, is that his name? Is that the drummer or the guitarist? I'm bad with members in bands. Usually I don't care too much about anyone besides like the lead people. I should, because this is Erra, but it slips my mind. I've known it in the past, I just, for whatever reason, I'm not thinking of it right now. But this is a very, very amazing album from start to finish, and to me, maybe it won't be the same for you guys, but to me, I don't feel like there's necessarily a bad song on this album. I don't think there's a song that particularly sticks out to me as being mediocre, as being lackluster. I think that it does what it needs to do very well, and it, from start to finish, really encaptures my interest. And the opening song and the final song on the album, funny enough, which would be Alpha Seed and Dementia, I don't think that any of the songs on the album really outdoes those two. Now, there's people that say that Hybrid Earth is a very, very good song, or Dreamwalkers, and they definitely are. There's not a bad song on this album. There really is not a bad song on this album, and this album is one of the main reasons that this is my favorite band. I still personally feel like Drift is their strongest work, and I am very much excited to see how they come out with their next album, because I know that last year they said that they were done recording the album, and they said that we would have gotten something in April, but nothing happened. I know that there's the tour that's happening with them, Dance Gavin Dance, and is it I See Stars, I believe? I believe that's the third band on the lineup. I know it's Dance Gavin Dance and Erra, and I know Dance Gavin Dance is releasing their new album this year. That's the one that has the single Midnight Crusade, I believe. And Erra is, by the way, I'll be reviewing that album when it comes out. But this album overall is the type of thing that if you are a fan of progressive music, if you are a fan of metal, give it a shot. And even if you aren't, I highly suggest giving it a shot, because this band has two vocalists. They've always had two vocalists, and they have one that handles the more metal kind of screams or growls or rough vocals, and then Jesse Cash. I haven't even gotten to him yet, and we're already at the 5-minute mark. Jesse Cash does an enormously amazing job on this album, and he just gets better and better with each album. Some people say that he has a kind of squeaky type of voice, but it's just because it's so high, and his range is phenomenal. And Garrison Lee's range is phenomenal. I know that some people complained about Ian and JT not being able to match some of the highs and lows that Garrison does because he's very versatile in the way he does his vocalism. So it's a good question to see what the next album is going to be able to do from Erra. But for this album, I have to give it a perfect 10 out of 10. It's impossible for me not to. And I'm putting my bias aside that they're my favorite band. I just think this is a phenomenal album. So go check it out, definitely. This has been Jay Morse Review Guy. I'm signing off saying farewell.